For some reason, you can't skip this cutscene that happens after the fade to black, but you can skip the previous cutscene. Another thing that makes Zant weak as a villain is he says, "My God." He calls Ganon his god. Also, it's weird to merge shadow and light and make darkness. Isn't shadow already darkness? Wouldn't he mean Twilight? He's already in Twilight. What personal benefit does he have to making everywhere Twilight? Does Twilight power him up? I love the music that plays with Zant's boss fight. That alone makes it a highlight of the game for me. I especially love how it has a different variation to its theme with like a different melody and stuff every single time you go to a different location. And even though you go to different locations, even though you revisit locations, it's not the same boss fight as it was before, so it's not really a boss rush. This is how every boss rush should be done. Sure, you're using the Gale Boomerang like last time, but it's not like you're using the Gale Boomerang to bring, like, bomblings over to a boss. It's much less annoying than before, especially since you can block its projectiles with the shield. This isn't actually that bad because he always appears directly across from you. It's not random at all. It's not like with the teleport spam with the Phantom Zant. But yeah, I mean, he acts all crazy and stuff. And I think that's better than, like, his whininess in general, like his whiny voice clips. Like, people call Silver the Hedgehog whiny, but Zant puts him to shame. At least Silver is only whiny in the sense that his voice is. He's still not like Zant, like a man-child. This boss phase in particular somehow manages to be less annoying than the boss that it's based on. All you have to do is run towards him. Of course, I fell off the edge, but that's because like he's tilting it around, so that can mean you go forwards faster than you would expect. It's weird because it's a platform that expects you to have the iron boots on, so you won't fall off it as easily. But you have to run towards him to go fast enough to get to him, which you can't do with the iron boots on. So it feels kind of cheap in that sense. But yeah, he uses projectiles a lot, but they're so weak that why does he even bother? He would look a lot cooler if he used, like, lightning that was the same color. Oh god, I hate this. I do like the theme, though. Like, in general, I love Zant's music. I love how it has a more techno theme to it. It's very surreal, creepy. And we're gonna get to the highlight of it pretty soon. Like, I like how, like, it seems, it's hard to describe, like, it seems like the melody, it goes for, like, a happy major note, and then it goes straight to, minor note. Like, it's dissonant. And, like, you think it's gonna go one way with the melody, then it goes another. But yeah, like, this boss phase is really annoying. I don't think it's quite as annoying as Morpheal, though, where you have to go pretty close to the boss with the tentacles, and the tentacles will always grab you, because there's such a limit to how close you have to be with the claw shot in order to grab the eye. And you can't attack the eye while you're above the land, swimming. It seems to be random where he's going to appear. But by the time you've gotten to him to attack him, he's probably already, like, ran out of time and closed the door on you. And you swim ahead so slowly! Look at how slowly you swim, like you can mash the A button, but that's not really going to help you much. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. It's like whoever designed this didn't account for the fact that you move around so slowly. And like, I got to him and then it instantly closed. What, do you have to wait for him to start firing projectiles first? I guess so. It's so stupid that the claw shot can be stopped by the wall. Like, it would have been more convenient to have it just go through it. And I'm guessing that Zant can breathe underwater, but he seemed to gurgle when he screamed, which was a nice touch, but Yeah, I love this music so much. It sucks that it's relegated to a part of the boss fight that's over so quickly. It's done exactly the same way as the boss it was based on. The only one that's really like that. Yeah, like I love this music so much. Like the beat to it, it's hard to describe. Like it's the most memorable melody in the game. And it ends so quickly and I can't find it on YouTube. Because the thing about Zant's boss fight is there's so many different songs in it that it's hard to find the one remix you want for some stupid reason, even when you're looking up the OST. And I like this music too. And once again, it's sad that this manages to be so much better than Blissetta. This is so much better than the original boss it was based off of. All you have to do is stand in the center with the ball and chain after he lands, because I guess for some reason he'll attack you when he lands. Like he's guaranteed to land on you. Like another problem is that the ice is so cloudy that it makes it a lot harder to actually see where exactly his feet are going to show up when he lands. So it doesn't really work well as a reflection thing, like a la Spider-Ganon. But at the very least the camera is doing a good job here. It's actually, even if it's not showing you the entirety of the arena, it's doing a decent attempt at it. Like, at least you don't have to deal with ice crystals constantly slamming onto you when you're just trying to attack the boss. And I think this boss phase alone is, aside from all the defeating bosses quicker with the ball and chain thing, this boss phase is what makes the ball and chain mandatory aside from Snow Peak. This is why speedrunners go out of their way to get to Snow Peak just so they can get the ball and chain and leave. And this, like I said, with Zant being crazy, a psychopathic man-child, see, this works. Like him being a wild berserker, unpredictable, teleport spamming. He would have been an entertaining villain if he was like this for the whole game, but instead they try to play him straight as a menacing villain. And then they have this reveal at the very end. And there's no reason that he couldn't have been this way from the very beginning. Why is it that only now he decides to stop trying to be menacing? Does he deep down know that he's screwed? And so he might as well not even bother? Then why didn't he figure that out earlier? This boss is pretty annoying though. At least you can block his spinning attack with your shield, but he's unpredictable with the way he teleports. I'm doing the cutting grass attack of desperation to hit him. When Midna is first talking to the wolf in the light world, the time of day changes from day to night during the conversation, which is pretty interesting. That never really happens in Zelda. Another thing about the ability to talk to animals in this game, and how it didn't reach its full potential, is you never talk to goats in this game. Even though there's a big focus on goats because of Orden Ranch. You'd think that with the big focus on goats at the beginning, with you goat herding twice at that you'd be able to talk to them. You also don't have other wolves talk to you and comment on how wolf-like or un-wolf-like you are. It's a missed opportunity. And another thing about the wolf is that it has a default facial expression. It doesn't really have many facial expressions. I guess if it had too many facial expressions, it would look too cartoony. And that would take the point out of it and the realistic art style. But it's kind of jarring how you have scary things like our ancestors lost their king to such greed. This is another big fail in the story. They don't tell you who that king is. Is it Ganon? Are they really descended from the Gerudo? Or is it some king that we never get to see? And this is a moment of badassness for Midna, and this is really stupid the way he makes that sound effect. And now for something overly silly and cartoonish. Do they really have to kill him off like that? So the usurper king of the Twilight realm is killed, leaving a massive, gigantic power vacuum in a world that's only ruled by one person. And thus, the Twilight Realm was torn apart by wars over who exactly would get to reclaim the throne because the princess showed no signs of returning. Oh wait, that didn't happen. Instead, nobody actually realized that the throne was left open. Somehow. Isn't he the one who's supposed to be running things? Wouldn't people regularly come to the throne room asking for his advice or making laws? Wouldn't people notice he was gone? Same goes for Hyrule Castle, which, I mean, I guess Zant was running it, but he isn't anymore. Well, the big twist is that Zant's god is supposed to be running Hyrule Castle, but there's no reason that he should keep himself secret when he had no problem with being all out in the open in Ocarina of Time. Another problem with this plot is that it gets hijacked by Ganon. Like, this is the biggest example of hijacked by Ganon. They have this original villain, but they don't... In the perfect example of how this game is too much about nostalgia over Ocarina of Time, they have this original villain get completely upstaged by Ganon. And it comes completely out of nowhere. It's also weird how Wind Waker established that Ganon was an acceptable short form for Ganondorf. And then this game goes right back to, no, only Ganondorf is acceptable. It's confusing. But yeah, like, I really do like the fortune teller's piece of heart scouting a lot. I wish every Zelda game let you do that. I found it kind of confusing here though, because I could have sworn I already found a heart piece there, but it turns out that there was actually a second one near the first one that I found, which was confusing. But yeah, Ganondorf is the villain now all of a sudden. And seriously, if he's the one ruling Hyrule Castle, and has been the entire game, why didn't he show his face? You think that if he's a typical generic, like, egotistical villain, why wouldn't he tell everyone that he's ruling things now? Why would he keep it a secret and keep it on the down low and make people think that everything's fine, thus destroying the point of taking over Hyrule in the first place? This directly contradicts his behavior in Ocarina of Time, where he not only made his appearance and presence well known, but he destroyed Castletown and made it full of zombies to establish his presence. Why didn't he do that in this game? Since, you know, this game likes to... Oh yeah, it's kind of hard to see that claw shot target because it's so dark. But I guess you can't really blame the game developers for that, because maybe they didn't think ahead and think that you might be doing this at night. But they still should have thought about that possibility. Like, made the claw shot targets brighter, like they are in the dungeons. I don't know why there has to be claw shot targets that look different on the outside areas. With the Twilight Realm, it makes sense because it's a different realm entirely, but... like, still. The flying golden bugs are such a pain in the ass to catch. They always fly away from you. Oh god, this cave. This is home to the worst ice block puzzles in the entire history of the franchise. Ugh. I'm surprised that I managed to get this without a guide, especially the hardest one. I had to fast forward this, playing some pretty good Sonic music because I just couldn't stand how long it was taking. Obviously, just like with any other block puzzle, you have to do a lot of thinking ahead. You have to put a block in a specific position on the arena so that you'll be able to make it block the progression of another block that's coming towards it, so it doesn't just wish past the spot you want it to be on. But it's annoying. It's like you have to think really far ahead, and the bigger the arena gets, the more complicated it gets. I just don't see why this is considered fun. But yeah, they made the light spirits of this game out to be this big, huge thing when the game is coming out. And then it turns out that they're just boring exposition bots. That's literally all they do, is they tell you stuff that you already know. They tell you what to do when you've already figured that out. They're just so boring and lifeless. As bad as Skyward Sword was because of motion controls, at the very least, every single... That's another thing, I don't like the designs of the light spirits because they're all just the same golden color. They all blend together. At least with the dragons in Skyward Sword, because they all had different colors and were very colorful. And I think they had... No, I think they had the same theme. But, like, because they were all colorful and associated with different elements and stuff, and one had techno theme, they're a lot better than the light spirits. They had a lot more charm. Although, the water one was really annoying. Made you do arbitrary things like swim after musical notes just to prove your worth for the trillionth time. Another thing that's bad about the wolf is that there's no upgrades to it at all. Even with the werehog, it was all about upgrades because it ran on an RPG leveling up system. As you progressed through the game and defeated enemies, the werehog would actually get new combat abilities. And that was good. I mean, it didn't entirely matter since you faced stronger enemies as you progressed anyways. So it only mattered in the sense that when you went back to old levels, which you'd only do if you're either playing the awful HD version with its metal hunting, and where you were forced to revisit old levels, or if you were just revisiting levels to get the items. Like, the point is that the wolf in this game doesn't have any upgrades to its combat or anything. Somehow that last puzzle was the easiest one. How is that even possible?